The postmark today is stamped the waterways of Giethoorn in the province of Overijssel in the Netherlands. Come join us on the wee craft. I don't know why I went Scottish then, do you? Okay. There he is. Well, I can see why they call Giethoorn the Venice of Holland.
Yeah.
Are there many places like this in the country?
No, actually, this is only this is the only village like this.
And how did it become so intricate with little waterways?
Because this is a very swampy area, lots of marshland, and to have higher places where you can have cattle, you just have to dig soil from some place, put it up another place, and you get all these fields.
So they had cattle here on these little areas, did they?
Yeah. All these houses here, they are most of them were farms, small farms, formerly, and the farmers, they would have their cattle somewhere on one of these fields surrounded by water, so they would transport their cattle to this field or take back the milk also on boat back to their farm.
So the whole of farming in this part of the Netherlands was carried out on boats across waterways and rivers. But that's incredible. And these houses, they look so new, so they could have been built yesterday, but they weren't, were they?
No, most of the houses here are 200-300 years old. Of course, they have been restored very carefully, and many houses, many old farms now are used for tourism, for weekend houses.
Yeah, I've seen many signs up saying for 3 or 5 persons, and lots of people therefore must come from the city to here to chill out at a weekend.
Yeah.
So are there many people actually living here all year round now?
There are people also living here. There are quite a lot of artists too living here, and writers, painters.
Is it what you would call a heritage area around here?
Yeah,
now?
absolutely. This is protected by law. Also all these farms, these with the thatched roofs, they are protected by the monument law and they can't be changed.
Now, presumably you can thatch houses here because of the waterways. You must have a lot of reeds growing.
Exactly. It's one of the areas where there are very big marshlands, and in winter they go out to cut the reeds, select them, dry them, and then use them for thatching roofs.
Very often with waterways and anything to do with water, you get a lot of stories, little fables, myths and magic. Are there any stories about this area?
Well, there's a story about little black creatures living in the water. They're called zwarte fruinen, and they can come out at night and play tricks on you.
Really? Where did they come from? Is it a very old farmer's legend?
It's a sort of an old Germanic legend that they were the illegitimate children of the wife of Odin, the most important god of the original Germanic tribes.
And
here.
she was Freya, wasn't she?
Yeah, and she had some kind of adventure with another man, and when she finally gave birth to this child, it turned out it was completely black and very ugly. So she left it in the woods somewhere, but it was taken by otters and raised by otters in their den and became used to living in the water. And then it became this legendary creature, the zwarte fruin. And they are said to multiply every 100 years. They divide.
They make mischief.
Yeah.
Look at that beautiful little house there. That is so charming. What do you think it would cost to buy a place like here in Giethoorn? Because there can't be many houses. It's only a small place, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they're quite expensive. But not as expensive as in the west with the big cities. So I think here An average house will cost about 1 million guilders if you have also a plot of land around it with some fruit trees
And at the present exchange rate, that's about 350,000 pounds.
I think so, yeah.
So this village, when was it first formed? Has there been someone living here for hundreds of years?
Oh yes, I think it was formed at about 14th, 15th century. And at that time, of course, there were mainly farmers, fishermen and thatchers, I think.
And was it ever a place where people would come, royals, nobility?
No, never.
It was just a quiet little backwater.
Yeah. Just only after the Second World War it became more or less famous as the Venice of the North. Before that it was just an agricultural community here.
And yet, before the war it was the same.
It was the same.
It was rediscovered.
Yeah.
I wonder what people would think then. They probably had this rural, aquatic idyll before the war.
Because there were no roads
years.
in this area, so you couldn't come here by car. You could only come here by boat. Just after the Second World War they started building roads, so tourism could come to this area.
So their peace was shattered by the motor car?
A bit, maybe.
Oh yeah, but you see, when you spent all that time with a lot of peace and quiet and just boats and the sound of the water and the lapping of the little wavelets, and then suddenly around a corner comes a great big motor car.
Yeah, that's true.
It does make you think.
But of course, the farmers here, they were used to a life which was very hard and tough and a lot of work and not so much money. So many farmers also were welcoming tourism as a way of earning some extra money.
Diversification.
Yeah.
Over there is a huge big lake. Was that always there?
No, that's a lake which was formed by people digging peat. They were getting peat from as a
fuel
thing to burn in your stove as fuel, and they would make long narrow canals, and on the ledges between the canals they would put the bricks of peat to dry. But when you had a storm, then sometimes the little ledges between the canals would be washed away by the storm, and slowly it became a very big lake.
Well, I tell you, Eric, I mean, I'm talking more slowly. I'm feeling soporific. I'm very, very happy just to let this little river craft take me along. I'd be happy to stay in one of those houses and look at you going past. And so long as I didn't see a blooming motor car,
Yeah.
I think I would be as happy as Larry.
At the moment they are working on it to make all water traffic here electrical. They are called fluisterboten, whisper boats.
Oh!
Because of course when it's very busy, when there's the tourist season and you have all these engines, then it's quite noisy and you have bad smell. So now more and more they're using electrical boats powered by batteries.
I hadn't thought about that, of course, just because there's really only us and a couple of people in front there.
Yeah.
Normally I should think there'd probably be a traffic jam.
In the high season there can be a traffic jam on the water here, yeah.
Well, I would be very happy just to let this little craft take me along, whispering through Giethoorn, with nothing but the sound of the birds and the ducks. Thanks, Eric. You're welcome.